Welcome to the Good Leadership Podcast, where we explore the stories, strategies, and insights of thought leaders who inspire us to think differently and lead better. Through candid conversations and expert perspectives, we dive into the challenges, breakthroughs, and practical lessons that shape exceptional leadership. Well, welcome to this episode of the Good Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Charles Good. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by Kate Ostrovska, talent development partner at JTI. Kate brings many years of expertise, having served in both consulting and talent management roles, and is deeply involved in shaping JTI's leadership development and organizational strategy. We're excited to dive into how JTI builds greater leaders and to note that they've been one of the IMS Excellence Award winners this year, and we're so proud to be giving them this award. And congratulations to JTI and especially to Kate.
Thank you. I'm very, very excited. Thank you.
Well, I always like to ask this question first. Could you share a bit of your background and what brought you to your role at JTI?
I've been always extremely passionate to learn about how people grow both professionally and personally. And I was so lucky to discover learning and development as my one and only true professional love. Though, as you mentioned, I was lucky to work across different regions and countries, and I tried lots of different things within HR, organizational development, learning, HR practices. So when I saw the opportunity of talent development partner here in JTI, I thought it just meant to be. And JTI is very known for caring about people and genuinely treating people as their greatest strengths, which it is. And it was just an amazing opportunity to jump and help developing leadership program in a company where leadership is treated more as a mindset. So that was the reason behind and my greatest inspiration.
Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Every leader has a unique story, and yours sets the stage for our conversation on leadership development. What excites you the most about supporting leadership growth and development at JTI, especially in your role?
The excitement comes from witnessing the transformation in action, being able to witness how managers enter development programs and then they change the way they act, the way they lead, the way they just collaborate within their teams and with their peers. This is what is extremely rewarding, knowing that you've played a small part in that transformation. Just joining people on their learning journey, I find that fascinating and be able to witness real life.
That's inspiring to hear, and leading leadership development comes with its own sets of challenges and rewards. How has JTI's approach to leadership development evolved over the years, and what lessons have you seen be the most impactful?
Well, JTI is the international corporation with very rich history. And the organization, we definitely went through different stages of how we approach leadership development. The one that I've witnessed within the organization was moving from a traditional training approach to creating more an ecosystem around that, where learning plays crucial part, but it goes far beyond that. It implements not only the experiential learning, but coaching and mentoring and learning from each other using the digital tools that are finally here and seeing how those tools are also evolving and how people evolve within how they use those tools. And the biggest game changer, I would say, in particularly towards leadership development, was when we've introduced the definition of what leadership at JTI is. And this is a universal definition across whole organization. Doesn't matter where you are located, what part of the world, what function you work. It is universal. It is there and it is applicable to any role that you're having in the company. And that is helping us to steer from the role approach towards leadership.
Could you highlight some of the strategies that you prioritize to create and maintain the strong leadership pipeline?
Well, we are trying to be quite strategic with developing our leadership pipeline. And I would say our strategy is to start early. So for that, we're using what we called the talent review sessions, so that by the end of those, we have quite detailed mapping of what talent do we have across the organization, their potential, so that then we can really match them with those stretching development opportunities. That also shows us if we have any blind spots. So that is very helpful. But it's also about making sure that whatever potential we see inside the organization, we also have means and opportunities to help those talents to retain and develop and grow into the roles that they want to have, but also that potential has willingness also to grow together with the organization.
Great. Thank you. Building that solid pipeline is so fundamental to all organizations, especially in a global and diverse company like JTI. From your perspective, what do you see as the biggest challenges for leadership development in your industry? And maybe you could speak a little bit to how JTI is adapting to address them.
Oh, the challenges for our industry. Well, being in the industry is the challenge itself because we operate in a highly regulated environment. The market is declining. And I would say the biggest challenge for our people is to really maintaining this pace of a change together with focusing on those short term focuses, delivering on the goals, but also helping to grow into the long term ambitions, and they're not doing that alone. So if we're speaking about leaders, they are responsible for their own sense of the growing, developing, and motivation, but also how do they keep up that morale within their teams. And speaking about teams, that presents the other set of challenges, and that is probably more universal across the globe now, is leading the diverse teams. And when we speak about diversity, that's not only about cultures, that it's also about operating in a hybrid mode or with fully distributed teams, fully online. So how do we do that? How the leaders keep the effectiveness and efficiencies and finding more and more of them while helping teams being connected to the purpose of the organization and to their own developmental.
Great summary of all of those challenges. And you're right, so many corporations face those same challenges, especially in this space today. How would you describe the learning culture at JTI? And how does that contribute to the success of its leadership development efforts?
So we're really nudging people to be the owners of their own growth. If you don't want to grow or develop, no matter what organization, there won't be the progress. So we empower our people to drive their growth, and we're there to support them navigate the vast portfolio of trainings that we have. And in terms of developing leadership, that's the first step of being leader of self so that they can be the leaders in the organization.
Right. Seen it firsthand, JTI's commitment to growth and learning is recognized well beyond your organization. So that's great insight to have. How has partnering with IMS supported JTI in developing its leaders? And have you seen an impact on any of the leaders that have come through the IMS programs?
Well, the partnership was instrumental. Having access to the world class leaders of thought and being exposed to those experts from lots of different fields that stretch our current understanding of things and learning something new, that was just amazing. We can only bring so much people to live sessions, but having them online expands the impact that we can make. And we hear only positive feedback and people coming to us and saying that, oh, I want more sessions. So I should say that the impact is tangible. We see the growth and self awareness. So we're very happy and see our partnership as one of the key success factors towards our leaders' development.
We love to hear that. And we're so proud to be partnering with JTI. And we realize partnerships can truly amplify those internal efforts. Love to for you to share now a specific leadership development initiative that you're particularly proud of or excited about at JTI, and maybe walk us through that program or that approach and the impact that it's had.
There are so many I'd love to share.
Well, you don't have to limit yourself to one. You can have a couple of them.
Okay, good. So then I'll share two. The one I've been lucky to be part as a participant, actually, that doesn't happen a lot these years. And that was our regional leadership development program that is focusing not only on commercial skills development, which was a huge part of that and highly rewarding because we were tasked to deal with real life cases and come up with the solutions that we can really see being implemented, and you can really feel how impactful you can be, even if you are, as me, being in HR function. So that is one of my favorite examples of the development programs that we have in JTI globally. If we speak about something local, the program that we were focusing a lot this year was something to reconnect with our culture, with the values that we have. We have the name for that. It is called Our Way. And those values, those behaviors, they actually drive the leadership within the organization. Moreover, our definition of leadership is living those behaviors every day. That's what makes it so universal. And throughout this almost a year-long journey, we had multiple workshops and discussions with employees that were extremely insightful, and they've encouraged vulnerability and stepping out of the comfort zone and relearning some of the patterns that we just so used to. But it also created this sense of leadership community within the organization. And we're not talking about leadership in terms of the roles, because the whole organization was impacted by those workshops. Every one of us is encouraged to take this leader role and whatever we do daily to make sure we as organization grow, and so that we impact growth not only commercially speaking, but we also influence our colleagues so much. We just recently had our engagement survey, and the engagement levels are different, the connection levels are different, but also we received huge number of highly insightful comments of what improvements we can do to grow even further. So um, that would probably be it. I need to stop now, or I can go on and on and on with those examples.
I love those examples. I'm so happy to hear that they have had such an impact, that engagement. I mean, it's a holistic learning process, it sounds like. People are engaged with it and difference is happening with these programs. So that's so reassuring and great to hear. And congratulations with all that success.
Thank you.
What advice would you give to other organizations looking to strengthen their leadership development programs?
Well, my number one recommendation would be to start with definition of the leadership philosophy that you're having for yourself, and being very true to yourself and transparent with yourself of how do you define leadership, what's leadership for you, and what kind of leaders and leadership skills you're looking for. And from that ground point, you start building the ecosystem where learning, development, training became just a part of very extensive experience for employees. And I would say that it's worth focusing on helping leaders to create those real conversations, having them that might be tough conversations, but they have to happen at some point. Encouraging the feedback culture so that you constantly feed from what your people have to say, so that you steer your journey towards the Northern Star. And once you have that, celebrate what we've achieved and where did we get. So thank you very much for not letting us forgetting that this year for sure. When you celebrate the right behaviors, organizations start understanding that this is something that is valued, and then that behavior is become even more contagious, so that you are setting yourself up for sustainable success with them. So that would be my recommendation.
Great advice for leaders at all levels in the talent development field. Kate, thank you so much for sharing your insights and experience with us today. Your perspective on cultivating leadership and fostering a learning culture at JTI are invaluable.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let our listeners know how they can get in contact with you if they want to learn more.
You can find me on LinkedIn. That probably would be the most effective way to get in touch with me, because I don't check any other social media. So if you're interested, find me on LinkedIn and be happy to connect.
Thank you again, Kate, for joining me. And for our listeners, we hope that today's conversation sparked ideas for strengthening your leadership in your own organization. I hope this episode has provided you with valuable insights. If it has, I ask you to share it with someone who would also benefit from it. If you've been enjoying and gaining knowledge from this podcast, then subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can find all the previous episodes of the podcast and additional learning resources. You can also subscribe to the podcast on Apple or Spotify and leave up to a 5-star review.